consequence of that. But what's happening now is Barack Obama is planning all these massive new government programs and stimulus plans and trillion-dollar budget deficits. It's the rest of the world that we're asking to foot the bill. We're asking the rest of the world that is suffering now because of the trillions that they already loaned us that we can't repay. We're asking them to loan us trillions more. And I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think the world is that dumb. I think they're learning a valuable lesson from this experience, and that's don't lend Americans any more money. So it's going to be the Federal Reserve. It's going to be Helicopter Ben revving up the printing presses, buying trillions and trillions of dollars of government debt, and the dollar is just going to implode. Nobody's going to want it, not even Americans.
When the dollar implodes, what does it mean for Americans living in this country consuming with the dollar?
Well, they're not going to be consuming anymore. I mean, because the dollar's not going to buy anything. Remember, the only reason we're able to buy stuff now is because foreigners will send us all the stuff they make in exchange for our dollars. When they don't want our dollars anymore, we're not going to get their stuff. And we don't have the factories to produce the stuff ourselves. And so we're going to have a bunch of money, but we're not going to be able to buy anything.
Are we talking bread lines? I mean...
Well, if the government imposes price controls, which is something I think is coming, I think under the Obama administration, inflation is going to get so bad that I believe the government is going to, follow the misguided footsteps of the Nixon and impose price controls on various consumer goods, including food items, energy items. And if we do that, yes, there'll be long lines for everything. And people will start trading on the black market. If you want to buy something, you won't be able to buy it officially. You'll have to buy it in the black market. And what will the black market currency be? Will it be the euro? Will it be silver coins? What will Americans be trading in illegally to try to procure the things that they need? Because we are on a collision course for massive inflation.
So what do people do to prepare for, honestly, the doom and gloom that you're describing right now?
What individual Americans need to understand is if they've got dollars invested in government bonds, in municipal bonds, in treasuries, if they've got insurance, if they've got cash value in that, if they've got bank accounts, they've got CDs, all that wealth is going to be wiped out unless they act quickly to get out of U.S. dollars and to move their wealth into foreign currencies, into bonds issued by foreign governments or foreign corporations. They can buy stocks, common stocks traded in foreign markets, but where the incomes and dividends are paid in foreign currencies. They can buy precious metals, they can buy gold and silver, they can buy other commodities, but people need to act quickly to get out of U.S. dollars before the dollars lose their value.
The fact the U.S. is in such a weak position right now because of the economy, do you think that this could have an effect on its position when it comes to foreign policy?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, America is going to lose its role as a dominant player in the global economy, whether it's economically, whether it's militarily. I mean, at one point, right, the Soviet Union was this giant superpower, but ultimately it collapsed because it couldn't finance it anymore, because it never really had the economy. And once it could no longer support the empire, it collapsed around it. And it was very quick. I mean, the Soviet Union was reduced to practically nothing in just a short period of time. And people wouldn't even believe that it was possible. I think you have a similar situation where the United States, our entire military presence around the world, could come to a very abrupt end when we can no longer afford to support the empire. I mean, we only can afford to support it now because of the overvalued dollar and the fact that we're able to borrow so much money from the rest of the world. But I think once the dollar collapses, our military might is going to follow our economic might, and we're going to be increasingly marginalized. We're still living off of the reputation that we once had, and we're still squandering the wealth that was handed to us by our grandparents instead of really creating the new wealth. The new wealth creation is taking place outside the United States. It's taking place in Asia. And I think as America falls from grace, you're going to see new economic powers born. And I think as the American consumer dies, you're going to see consumers in Asia born. And, that's one of the main points that I've been trying to make over the last several years, and people don't seem to get it, is that the United States has not been the engine of the global economy. We've been the caboose. And the rest of the world has been dragging us around like we're dead weight.
Do you think President-elect Obama will react to anything that you're saying and change course?
Well, I can remain hopeful. I mean, nobody has contacted me from his transition team. No one has contacted me from any place in government. It seems that they want to talk to all the people who have been wrong, all the people who I was arguing with, who said that what I was saying was impossible, that made fun of me. Those are the people that are being invited to government to opine on what we should do. They don't give any credibility to my view whatsoever, or others like me who maybe weren't on television as often as I was, or didn't write books, but we're still arguing the same thing. I wasn't the only person who could see this coming. I was just the only person who saw it coming and then went on TV and screamed about it or wrote about it. But I still don't think that our leaders understand the root cause of this problem. They still want to pretend that this was just a random event that nobody could have foreseen, that all we have to do is fix things and we can get it back to the way it was. They don't understand that what's happening